Hello pretties, welcome to Webzero. So before we get started, I just want to say if you're one of the 5 people that saw my little video that I posted on Tuesday, I'm sorry. I had a bit of a meltdown. I took it down. I'm okay. I figured it out. I'm essentially going to be I'm trying to redo my setup to have a better quality because I've been doing like the bare minimum quality wise. I feel like I've been using the camera for my tablet, which is actually what I had to use right now because I bought this other camera that is meant for like streaming, and the video and audio just will not sync up. So there's that. I actually really like the microphone, but they came as a set, so I'm gonna end up returning it because I can buy the microphone by itself and it's gonna be less than half the price. So I'm gonna do that. I ended up buying a computer so I can, you know, better edit videos because I've been doing what I can with my little tablet and it's just not meant for that. So it just didn't have the capacity for me to really do really outlandish things. So I'm hoping that I can improve that as well. Sorry guys, my nose is so itchy. So I'm hoping to improve that as well. And something else that I'm improving, anyway, I'm returning the camera. I'm gonna buy a real camera because this one's not working for me. I'm gonna end up buying the microphone by itself, and I ended up getting the computer set up the way I wanted it to. The only thing I don't like is that it is slightly loud, and so when I have it running, the microphone can sometimes pick it up. So that's the problem. Right now it's kind of quiet, but I'm wondering if the microphone can still pick it up. I don't know. I'm having the laptop on one side, like not laptop, but the computer on one side and the microphone on the other side. Hopefully it won't be picked up as loudly. And yeah, anyway, let's just get started. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I promise I'm usually not such a hot mess. And yeah, become a resident of F-Sorel. Alright, so I was gonna say something and I don't know what I was gonna say. So we're gonna do an update and speed reviews essentially of everything that I bought in the last quarter of 2020. And it's a lot, guys. I'm like looking at this and I'm like, holy fuck. Excuse my language. Please don't have children around. I have a potty mouth. But that aside, sorry, my hair was looking strangely weird. Okay, let's just get into it. So I have my little list right here, so that's what I'm looking at. So first thing I bought is the Millennium Eye Primer. It was $7. I haven't opened it yet because it's back up for this one right here. As you can tell, it's like almost gone. You can't really see it but with the lighting, but I'm like scraping, like pulling it at the sides of down, and this is almost done. So I thought it was gonna be done a lot longer, like way before, but it's still sticking around. I'm gonna eventually have to cut it open, but we're just not there yet. Next, I got the Lights Camera Lashes. It was my birthday gift at Ulta. I haven't opened it yet. I feel like I've used Tarte mascaras before, like minis, and I never had any issues with them, but they were not this one. This one's the one that I know they're most famous for, so I'm pretty excited about it. But I haven't opened it yet, so it's gonna be the next one I open. Next is the Milk Makeup Hydra Grip Primer. It was my Sephora birthday gift. I did already finish it up. It was in my year-long empties for 2020. Completely gone. I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would because I have dry skin and I've heard some people that have dry skin haven't really ended up loving that one. Also, something that I heard about is that, you know, if you don't like let it set or if you put too much, then it would like start like making like little balls on you and it will like pick up your foundation. I didn't experience that. I did let it set and I didn't go overboard. That little packet actually lasted me about 3 uses, which was more than I expected for something so little. So I didn't have any problems with it. I kind of liked it. It was okay. I don't know that I would purchase it, but it was okay. Along with the little set, it also came with the Milk Kush Mascara. And I can tell you right now, I don't like that mascara. It's not bad, but I definitely would never wear it on my, I don't like it on my under, like my under lashes, like the bottom lashes. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's like a little bit like blackness right here, but I am not wearing black eyeliner today at all. I am not wearing, I didn't smudge my line with anything dark. It was with a actually really light brown that I smudged my under eyes area with, but it's still all this black stuff. And I guess it's my lashes, I guess are a little too long, and they're just like rubbing on my skin and they're like taking the color off. I don't know, but it's making my under eyes black and I don't like it. I wanted to stop. I don't layer mascaras, and I don't like to have more than one mascara open, so I'm just gonna power through it. If I really like this mascara, I would potentially consider, you know, making this one last more than the 3 months recommended, because on this thing it does say it's good for 6 months. Most mascaras are, even though most people actually only use them for 3 months, but they're good for 6. I wouldn't. At 3 months, I'm done. I'm hoping that I really like this one so I can keep it longer, because I think this one's also 6 months. Yeah, so I would really consider making this one last a little longer. So anyway, not happy with that. I am, however, happy with the Milk Makeup crayon lip cheek thing work. I've worn this in my lips once when I first got it. It looks horrendous. I did not like it on my lips at all, but I do like it on the cheeks. It does give it a nice little flush. I am wearing that, but I'm also wearing another blush on top. I went a little heavy today with my blush, I'm not gonna lie. But it doesn't look too bad on camera, but yeah, there's that. I do like it. It's in my Partners in Cream project pan, and actually I think I'm gonna have some really good progress to show, because I've been using the hell out of this. If you see the lighting coming in and out, the sun's about to set, and I am using natural lighting, and that's what that is. And also because I don't have a good camera, which again, guys, this will not be a problem for much longer. I am going to go to Best Buy this Friday, and I'm gonna buy a new camera, a real camera. So hopefully this is one of the last times you see this happen, because I don't know that I'm gonna be ready to go like for this Sunday's update, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. We'll see. All right, but that's that. Let's see. I did also buy the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Face Cream and Night Cream. These are reoccurring repurchases for me, so I'm not gonna go into it. I like them, hence why I keep rebuying them. I do wish their packaging wasn't so bulky and recyclable, but that's a different story. The product itself is nice, and I've mentioned this before. I wish there was a just like a pouch or something with just the product. I don't know. I just feel like there's something to be done there to be more eco-friendly. That's what I'm trying to say. I did buy 2 smudge brushes from e.l.f., which are $2, because my favorite smudge brush is actually from e.l.f., but they're not actual smudge brushes. They're meant for packing. So this is it, and this one's a little longer. And then they have this one, which is actually shorter. This is that one that is actually meant for smudging. I really like it. It's a little bit more precise than this one, but I like the blend of this one, is slightly longer, better. But this one's more precise. It does give a nice blend as well, but just not as nicer. Or maybe it's just this one's a little softer because it's a little longer. I don't know. I do like this one slightly more still, but I don't think this was a bad investment, and it gives me more options. So it's fine. And it was $2. And well, I bought 2, so it was $4. I'm okay with that. All right, personal cosmetics. These were all birthday gift from my boyfriend, sweet man, and let's get started because it was a lot. I got 2 glosses. I got the Shortcake and the pink. I really do like them. I already knew I was gonna like them because I like the Persona Cosmetics formula. I'm really interested in that e-balm that she came out. I'm really thinking about it, and I would like to try more from this brand. This is right now my favorite gloss formula, so pretty excited about that. I also got the Persona Identity palette. If you watched my ranking of my palettes for 2020, if you watched my disappointing or products that surprised me in 2020, you would already know how I feel about this palette. I am so torn with this palette because I've heard so many good things about it. People hype it up, and I fell in love with the Identity 2 palette. That's the first one I had, and people were always saying how they preferred the Identity 1 over the 2, and I personally like neutrals quite a bit. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. However, this was a bit disappointing to me. I will say not everything is bad. I actually think that the shimmers here that stand out is just, I personally prefer mattes over shimmers. So for me to tell you that shimmers are better, it's kind of, you know, so it's a tell. I will say I have no problem with all the darker shades. My problem was always with these 2 right here. I have found a way to make this shade right here work for me. Sorry, I didn't tell you what the problem was. These 2 shades on my undertone are total enemies. Like, I don't know what it is, but whenever I put them into my eyelids, they look great and they look almost black, and they don't want to blend right, and they, I don't know, and I know it has to do with my skin tone. They just don't blend well with my skin tone, and the colors on it are just no good. This looks like a cool tone brown. It looks gray black on me. And this one turns out, if I overpack it, instead of looking like this caramel brown, it looks more gray. And I think it's because it's slightly cool tone even though it's neutral. But if I don't go too heavy with it and I just do like a light layer, I can get that nice transition. So I've made this one work, but this one's a lost cause for me, just like altogether not happening. I do like Cheek and I do like this Audacious shade quite a bit, and I have found ways to make this work. It's just I've had such a hard time with these two transition shades that it's really spoiled the entire experience of this palette for me. So I'm really struggling with that. I personally prefer the Identity 2 over the Identity 1. If you hear my baby scratching at the door, I'm sorry. But I can't let them in because I know they were playing super hardcore outside and they're gonna just be extremely too loud. So anyway, back to the palette. I don't dislike it, but these two shades really disappointed me. I found a way to make this one work, but I'm still disappointed by it just because I had to work so hard for it. Whereas the Identity 2, it was just instantaneously workable. Like I didn't have any issues whatsoever. Okay, complete standouts. Fell in love with this formula. Holy bejesus. I ended up having to put one of them away because I couldn't stop reaching for them. Is the Persona blushes. And of course, as soon as I got this, like a month later, she came out with the new terracotta one and I'm like, oh, come on. But no, it's for the best. If I can finish a couple of blushes, I will consider purchasing that one. But I also want the Moon Prism palette from Lunar Beauty. So I'm like, I need to finish more blushes before I can even consider those. But anyway, I got these two blushes from Persona Cosmetics. The one that I've been using the most is Caramel. I just don't have anything quite this cool toned but yet neutral. It just goes with everything and it's not too cool toned where it doesn't, like, you know, work with any look or my skin tone, because I do have a very olive undertone. Not quite yellow, but it's definitely warm but not, I have a weird undertone is what I'm trying to tell you, and this works fabulously with me, and so does Georgia. I really enjoyed this. I ended up having caramel in my roulette project pan, and I ended up having to put it away because I could not stop reaching for it. So that doesn't tell you anything. If that does not tell you something, I don't know what it will. Loved these blushes, but I am a blush girl, so there's that. I also did get the Persona Cosmetics Zuma highlighter, which is this one right here. It does remind me a little bit of Opal from Becca, as well as Champagne Pop. I feel like it's like a fusion between the two. It's a little bit more yellow tone than Opal, but not nearly as much as Champagne Pop. And I do feel like it has a similar formula where it's not glittery at all and it just kind of melts into the skin. But this one is way more intense than that one. I personally prefer the Becca Opal. It is my favorite highlighter that I own. However, this is a close second. I really enjoy this, which I was not expecting. Highlighter is not my favorite thing, but I really like this. Okay, that was everything from that Persona Cosmetics. That was my birthday gift for my boyfriend to me. Now let's go into another birthday gift that I got from my sister. I got two things. I got the At Foresight palette, and if you saw my video that I posted on Wednesday, whatever video I posted on Wednesday, you will see that I did try to recreate the Urban Decay Wild West palette, which I actually think turned out pretty good, but I haven't put the shades back in, so that's missing here. But I got the At Foresight palette, and I love the hell of this palette. This is my kind of color story. I have heard a lot of people complain about the darker shades, how they're having a hard time, you know, making them work. I can personally say that you gotta treat those shades as pressed pigments. They're not beginner friendly, okay? That's the only way to say it. You really gotta pack the color in and then blend the edges out. And I would suggest starting out with your darker colors and then going in with your lighter shades to transition out. So start in and then move your way out, if that makes sense. That's the way I've made them work and I haven't had any issues. But I also know that I almost always pack dark colors and then blend. Like, that's just what I've gotten used to. But if you don't know, like if you haven't used pressed pigments before, I can see how you're gonna have a hard time. But if you do that, I don't see you having any issues whatsoever. Okay, sorry, my computer is getting turned off and I'm like, I don't know what to talk about next. So I personally love this palette. This color story is Chef's Kiss, perfect. I love this color story. I did a video where I was like going through all my Colourpop palettes to try to pick like my favorite shade for each individual one, and that palette ended up looking so similar to this. Like, I just love this kinds of shades. I think it's perfect. You can do something cool to warm tone. I personally love greens, so the fact that there's 3 greens in here is perfect. I think greens on my beautiful brown eyes, it just makes them pop, and I just love green, and I was really happy with it. The only shade that I personally don't care for is Wild Coast, which I know a lot of people are really happy about, but I just never go for yellow golds like this. If it was like a champagne, I would probably be more happy about it. Or if it was some kind of dual chrome the way Evergreen is, I would be more happy about it. But regardless, I do love this palette. So really happy I got that. On the other end of this birthday gift that I did not love, also part of this collection, was the Raw Beauty Kristi Colourpop lip gloss in the shade Wildflower. If you saw my first initial reaction of this, it was not great. It made me look sickly. Now I will say I have found a way to make this shade work for me. I just can't go quite as thick with it as I normally will go. If I just do like a light wash, it just kind of it melts into my lips, and you just can't see that color peek through, so you still see my actual lip color. That's how I've made that work. However, the formula of this is awful. and I was really excited about this because prior to me getting this lip gloss, I heard a lot of really good things about this Luxe Gloss formula, and I heard that it was a huge improvement from their previous formula. So I was pretty excited about it, but once I got this and all the reviews came out, everyone was saying how this it's not matte, like it's not the regular Luxe Gloss formula, which is really unfortunate. This is just thick and goopy, and it's not great. It's not nearly as bad as the Ulta Beauty, because I have that Ulta Beauty one. This is horrible. It's not nearly as bad as this one, but it's not that far away. So I'll finish it, and again, it's not nearly as bad as that one, and it's as the Ulta one, but God, that was disappointing. Just because I was really looking forward to it, and I feel like it was super hyped up. So moving along, along that palette with those gifts, I did end up getting this little sponge. It's dirty, but I got the little sponge from Colourpop. I really like this sponge. It's really nice. All right. I also got the e.l.f. HD powder, which is a continuous repurchase. I go through these pretty regularly. I think I finished 3 in 2020. I'm already about a little bit just above halfway through this one that I got. So I enjoy this powder. I'm gonna keep repurchasing it because it's lightweight. I have dry skin. It doesn't dry my skin out. It's not overwhelming, and I put very little, and I still make it work. So I love that powder. If you have oily skin, that is not the powder for you. I'm just gonna say that right now. It's gonna do nothing for oil control. But if you're dry skin like me and you just need your concealer to not like crease like crazy, that's gonna be the one for you. If you just want things to not be too tacky, that's gonna be the one for you. You just a light layer, smooth as hell. I do think it does a lot of blurring for me, which is not something that I personally was looking for, but I think it does a good job of blurring, and I do appreciate that as well, because I wasn't asking for that, and you know, a little extra never hurts. Okay, the ABH Jackie Aina, I got this literally the last week of 2020. It was on sale for 30% off at the ABH website, and I think it was just over $30, and their minimum for free shipping is $30, and I was like, perfect. That's all I gotta do. So this is the palette, if you for whatever reason have never seen it, and I really like this palette. I haven't played with it as much as I would like to. I think this might be better. There you go. I haven't played with it as much as I would like to, but what I can say, the shade that caught me by a complete surprise was Lituation. Holy bejesus. Really enjoying that. Also, I wasn't expecting to be that many duochromes in this palette, because I heard Jackie Aina's descriptions of these shades, and I don't know what I was expecting, but yeah. And I will say, Wickless looks very bright on camera, but it's actually a little more muted. It has like a dark undertone that makes it, I think, a little bit more wearable than you would think. And I'm really enjoying this. I just haven't been able to play with it as much as I would like to. I really want this palette to be drawn out of my eyeshadow obsessions project pan. That way I can play with it more. But there's a lot of my newer palettes that I would like, because I have a lot of palettes, y'all. And we still got one more palette to go. I bought way too many palettes in 2020. So there's that. Anyway, the point is I'm really enjoying that palette. I want to play with it some more. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's move on. I did buy a horror nail sets, the Instagram ones, the one that you're like gonna stick to it. I am gonna do a full length review. I know I've been talking about this a lot. It's eventually gonna come. I just want to do 2 more manicures. If I can just get 2 more manicures in, I feel like I can give a really good review. So that's gonna come eventually. I just don't know when. Okay. I bought the Schuyler Perfume sampler set. I have not touched it yet. It's downstairs. I didn't bring it with me. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I just was lazy. But I haven't touched it at all because I still have like this much left on my body spray from Bath and Body Works. So as soon as I finish that, I'm going to start messing with those. I have smelled through all of them, and there's 2 that are really catching my attention. I think would be really good for a winter and summer shade. Because I do want to repurchase 2 bottles and just kind of alternate between the 2. But anyway, I haven't really touched it much, so I'm just gonna move along. I made a Colourpop order and I bought a couple of things. One, I bought this right here. It's just like a 9-pan palette thing. These 2 shades were in that Urban Decay video, but it was on sale for $2. I think it was a great purchase. I bought a couple of these palettes, these velvet palettes. I actually really enjoy them. My only pet peeve is that I mostly use sponges in my under eye. I do kind of tap my skin, and when I set it, I tap it, but I do my foundation and all that with brushes. And this is just a little too thick for my under eye, so I'm always having to like squish it down and like try to blend it out. So I like it, but I don't like it. I wish it was shaped differently. At least at this little tip, I wish it was a little thinner so I can actually put under my eye, because with something like this, it just goes right into the eye area and I don't have any issues with it. I wish it was thinner. It was shaped differently, that's all. But I really do like it. Unlike the Real Techniques like powder sponge, unlike that one, this one actually blends out product, because that one does not, and it's supposed to have like the same texture. I haven't tried the Juno & Co brush, sponge, but I've heard that this is supposed to be similar to that, so I personally really like this. Just saying, just like the shape, not working for me. Something else I bought in that Colourpop order, I bought 2 of these concealers right here, and I like them. They're repurchases, they're not new. I like them. I'm gonna keep repurchasing them. I do want to try a different shade of medium 85N. I just feel like this might be a little too dark for me, and I didn't realize this until recently. Also, the undertone is off a little bit, so we'll keep messing with that. But for now, I like it. I don't mind it. I also bought 1 single shadow in Smoky Metallic, which is this like dark gunmetal gray, and I have nothing like this in my collection, which is why I want it. I am on the search for a single shadow of like a matte sage green. If you know of one that's cruelty free, please leave it down in the comments below, because I really want to buy one, and I've been going through a whole search of it and I just cannot find it. So please let me know. All right, now we're going down to the last items that I bought, and that's the Nudie Patootie, L'Oreal Los Angeles. I bought the Nudie Patootie set, which came with the 2 liquid lipsticks. I personally prefer the darker one out of the 2. But I can make this one work. I will say that. And I know that Lara meant for them to be ombre together. I personally like this one by itself a lot. I can make this one work by itself. It's just a little light for me, a little light that I would like, but I can still make it work. It doesn't make me look like washed out or sick or anything like that. So I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed both of them. I just, again, haven't touched them too much, mostly because I've been really focusing on my Project Pan lip products, but eventually I'll get to them. That's okay. One that I really like, and again, I just haven't had the time to mess with it. I really wish this one is in my eyeshadow obsessions. Is the L'Oreal Los Angeles Nude number 2, which is this one right here. Look at those beautiful shades. I mentioned this before. I wish there was a darker brown in here. And I also wish that these 2 shades are just a little bit too similar to me. I wish this was either significantly darker or this was significantly lighter. I just feel like they're just a little bit too similar. So there's that. Regardless, I do like this. I do and really love this new formula from her. It's wants to be foiled. but it's not, and it reminds me also of like a glittery Super Shock shadow, but it's not glittery at all. Like, well, I mean it is, but it isn't. It's so fine and they're so creamy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I really, really enjoy it. I think these colors really work well together. I love, love, love this shade right here, Low Cut. It's like a rosy brown, and it has a beautiful undertone, and it's surprisingly more pigmented than you would think. Regardless, I really wish there was a darker brown besides just this plum. Like, I just don't feel like this plum should be the darkest shade in the palette, but that's just me. I do know that this is meant to be a companion to the Nude Patootie, so if you already have that palette like I do, you can use them together. That's just not what I wanted to do, you know, but I'm loving, loving, loving this. And then last thing I did is buy the brush set, and then I did buy a couple of these brushes individually. So it's a 10 set kit, and I think I got all 10 of them. I think. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing one. No, here it is. Okay, here it is. I got all the brushes now. So I got a couple of the kabuki brushes because I personally love this kind of kabuki brush. Laura Lee Los Santos is the one that got me into using kabuki brushes. When she used to be a Morphe affiliate, she came out with a brush set and she kept talking about the Y6. So I got the Y6, and it's my favorite foundation brush until this. This is better. I will say this is a little bit rougher, or maybe it's just the foundations that I use. But it's a little bit rougher. It's not as soft as that one, but I think, again, that might be with the foundations that I use that make it a little thicker, because as soon as I wash it, it's like super soft and it's nice and creamy, but I don't know. I think it's in my foundations, and I don't wash them as often as I should. I do use them dirty sometimes because I'm using the exact same things. I'm like, it's not like, you know, I'm not putting anything new on top of it. It's not going to change the formula. I'm using the exact same thing, so that might be a reason why I probably should wash them more often, but anyway. I like that one. I actually have really gained to love this brush right here, and it's the L13, and it's meant for bronzer and contour, and I really like it, y'all. I really like it. It is like super targeted. I personally don't like to go too crazy. Okay, my blush, I really went too crazy with it, and this is like hours later and it has not faded. It must have been like, I must have like really gone up in there. Let's not think about that. But anyway, I really like it. It's super targeted, but it still blends it out super well, and I just feel like it makes it look like really natural, which is hard to say because it's not. I feel like sometimes when you go with really big bronzer brushes, you can end up with bronzer like all over here. Like you're never gonna be, you're never naturally bronzed that largely unless you're burned. And I feel like it's usually a more smaller area where your jaw is, where that contour bronze area should be. And I think this is a really good job of really getting in there and blending it out really, really well. So I'm really enjoying that. I also bought two of these one because I just knew I was gonna love this brush because it's my favorite kind of brush for blush. And again, I got that from the original Morphe Laura Lee set that she got, and she had a similar brush like this in there. I'm gonna try to get it. Here it is the E4, and this is essentially very, very similar to that brush. It's just smaller, slightly rounder, which I like. I think it's a great brush, really targeted, really blends it out beautifully, and I really enjoy it. Nothing to say. This is the only brush that I'm like, I don't know what to do with. I think you could use it for highlighter. I just haven't, because there is an actual highlighter brush in the set that's what I've been using it for. This is meant for powder, but it's just significantly smaller than I would like to use. I can use it for powder, and I have used it a couple times to like wipe away powder if I'm trying to be like really careful and precise. It does a good job when I do use it for powder. It's just not what I like for powder, if that makes sense. So I haven't reached for it. The highlighter brush, I like it. It gets the job done. It's nothing special. It doesn't like stand out to me the way any of the other brushes do, but it works really well. I like how long and fluffy it is, so it's harder to over apply your highlighter. So I do enjoy that quite a bit. Okay, so let's done with the eye set. I can tell you right now, I've never used this brush. And I probably will never, because I no longer own a gel thing, so I don't have that. If I practice doing eyeliners a lot, I probably would. I probably could have tried using it today, but I used an eyeshadow today. I can try using it with eyeshadow, I just haven't. like this little packing brush right here. I mentioned this when I first got it. I wish there was one like this, but bigger. Maybe around like this size, just something bigger. I just feel like this is a little too small. I feel like I need two. I need this one and I need something bigger, you know? I do really like it. I think it works really well. This shade took me by surprise. Who would have known? I wish this came in 3 more sizes, okay? I want this same brush, just slightly bigger. Let me try to find another brush. Yes, like this. So I want this brush, but slightly bigger, a little bit fluffier. So you can do softer, because I feel like this is more packing brush, and that's what I've been using it for. Do mainly like to like pack the outer corner, and then it's really good to like blend the edges, so it really works really well. But when I'm not going with such a dark color, or if I am going with dark color but it's easier to diffuse, I would like something slightly bigger. On top of that, I want something that's even bigger than that. Let me see if I can find something. Not that. Something like this. Okay. There you go. I want something even bigger so it's easier to like fluff in the crease, okay? I want something bigger so that I can fluff in the crease, and that's what I want, okay? And I want another one that's even bigger than this one to really, really create that transition shade. Hold on, guys. Nope, that one's slightly, okay. Something like this, slightly bigger, and it's mostly fluffier because these ones are denser, these ones are denser. This one's fluffier, this one's dense. So it's something fluffier to really build that transition. And I feel like I need all 4 of these. And that's, if I can get this, I'll be set. Then it'll be perfect. But I want this, Laura. If you're, for whatever reason, watching this video, I want you to look at it, take a screenshot of it. I don't know, figure it out, but I need all 4. And really, I want this one to be slightly bigger, like slightly. This is the 18, yeah, M518. Just call me up, let me know what you want to do. We can figure it out together. All right, so now let's go to the last 2 brushes, which are actually my favorite brushes from the set. And this is the L18, which I actually ended up buying 2 extra, so I have 3 of this shade, this kind of brush, because I really, really like it. This is similar to the Morphe brush. Let me see if I know I haven't, so I just gotta find it. Here it is. So this is similar to the Morphe M433. So they're just like, they're like flat, there you go, but they're fluffy. They're kind of like triangled. I don't know how to say it, like Doritos. I don't know how to say it, but I really, really like this brush. Personally prefer this one over the Morphe any day. It's just significantly softer, and it blends so much, they blend similarly, but this one's surprisingly cheaper. Who would have thought the Lara Los Santos brush is going to be cheaper than Morphe and better quality? But yeah, this one's cheaper, significantly cheaper, because Morphe has like spiked up their prices like bananas, and I don't think, you know, that's reasonable. And I know everybody always complains when like celebrity brands like come out and they're like really expensive straight off the bat, but I'm like, but that's how, you know, you're just setting your bar. You can't start out cheap and then go expensive, and I feel like that's what Morphe is doing, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Morphe started out cheap, because I remember being able to go to Ulta and buy a couple of brushes for like anywhere between $2 to $15. Now their brushes are anywhere between 10 and 40, and I'm just like, what make this justifiable? Like, you're supposed to be an affordable brand. Be affordable, okay? Be affordable. Anyway, better quality, softer, and it does just as good job, I think slightly better, but there's not enough of a difference, to be honest, but I do think this was better. But love, love, love this brush. Perfect for really like creating that crease. I feel like if you have a bigger brush, like I said, like this one, to build your transition shade, and this one just really is gonna create that crease. And I really love it for that. You can potentially build a transition with this, and it probably is because Lara has smaller eye space than I do, where she needs something small, but I feel like I have sufficient eye space. It's not huge, but I feel like I have more eyelid space than she does, and I feel like this is just too small for my eyelid space, so I needed something bigger. And lastly, here is the L19, and I love the fuck out of this brush. God damn it. So this is Laura's Smudge Brush, and it's supposed to be for under the eye, but actually really good for packing. And I'm gonna bring back my e.l.f. brushes because, so this is the e.l.f. sponge that is actually meant for smudging. This one is a little bit thicker. There's more like actual like bristles in here. It's denser, and it's but it's similar shape, and it's also longer. Very similar to the one that's actually meant for packing from e.l.f. and it's this one right here. The Laura Los Angeles one is still slightly longer, but they're similarly dense. And this is the one that I usually use for smudging. So when she came out with this one, I'm like, she just knew what I meant. Although I will say these are really, really, really great for packing color, especially if you're using mattes. If you're doing like an all matte look, these ones are really great for that. But I'm loving the hell out of this brush. And I just wanted to say that. This is a really long video. So, you know, let's put right here. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to become a resident of Vevzero, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys!